Hello, all. Jace here. Um, got another one of these conversations for you guys this evening. I'm getting the feeling with everything going on, we might be doing a lot of these between now and November. Every day is a whole new world. Um, so first things first. Earlier today, Biden announced that he will not be um, running for reelection in November. Um, like I had stated in my previous video, I didn't believe he was going to be the candidate. So this didn't come as a great shock to me. Um, but anyway, I've got a little short snip here that's got a couple of the tweets that he sent out. Biden's first tweet was a screenshot of a letter that he had typed up. And as you can see, it says many things, but included in that it states, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term." And later it says, "I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision." In a separate tweet a little bit later, Biden states, "Today I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this." Okay, so as you can see there, when I first saw the letter, I thought it was extremely odd that he did not mention Kamala within it. And I figured that was telling that he was not going to um, endorse her to be the nominee. And that would have, I don't think it would have mattered. I think Kamala would have been the nominee anyway, but I think now with his endorsement, on top of the fact that she is the vice president and that they can't be seen passing by the first female black vice president. I think, and the fact that there's about $100 million in campaign contributions sitting there that only she can access. Um, I don't think the Democratic Party had much of a choice here. It was going to be Kamala whether they wanted to or not. I don't, given the way she polls and her popularity, I doubt that she would have been their first choice. But this is what they've got to work with. Um, my question for you guys is, what do you think this does to the election? What do you think is going to happen now? Do you think they're going to go ahead and go along with the pick for Kamala? Do you think they're going to go completely out of the box? I don't think they I don't think they're going to have the option. I really don't, because I don't think at this point, especially, Biden's endorsement changes a lot of things, but especially with everything else and Biden's endorsement, I don't know which Democrat they're going to get to throw their hat in the ring and go up against her. To try to, who's going to be the one to say, no, 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 you're going to pick me instead of the female black vice president. I don't know. I sure wouldn't. I can tell you right now, I wouldn't jump on that grenade either. And I don't think any Democrats will. I don't think they had a real strong chance of winning in November anyway. So I think most Democrats that felt like they had a legitimate shot would probably be waiting until 2028, just because they don't have enough time to properly campaign, fundraise. They just don't have time. So I think I think Biden's endorsement cements it. But I always thought if Biden was going to back out, it was going to end up being Kamala. It just makes sense. Um, I guess the only question now for the Republican Party is, you know, what does this change? What does this do to the landscape? Um, how does this alter Trump and Vance's um, attack? Um, the good thing I think for the Republican Party in this, or for Trump, is if it is Kamala, he doesn't really have to change any of his talking points because he has not attacked, here very recently, and even in the debate, he has not attacked Biden himself. He hasn't attacked the dementia. He hasn't attacked the frailty. He's attacked the policies. And if Kamala does end up being the nominee, then he can stick with that exact same plan and attack the policies. So I don't think it really needs to change much for them. I do think you're going to see a lot more energy. I would. My biggest fear as a Republican, my biggest fear is I think she'll select, or at least try to select, Whitmer out of Michigan to be the VP. So not only is it going to all but guarantee Michigan, which was a big battleground state that Trump was actually leading in the polls in and would have made a huge difference. I mean, this thing's going to come down to, Michigan, Wisconsin, um, what are the other ones? Ohio, but Ohio's been red for a couple of cycles now. Um, Nevada, Arizona. There's these battleground states. It's gonna come down to those, and if she selects Whitmer, it'll probably lock down Michigan for them. Um, the other big fear is, with Harris's ties to North Carolina, it might bring North Carolina back into play. Um, this and then on top of that, you're going to have an energized Democratic Party. They're going to have their first, female black presidential nominee, along with, another female VP. So it's going to be an all-female ticket, which has never happened. I mean, there's a lot there to really energize that party, and get them excited. So I think the Republicans have their work cut out for them. Everyone here who's watching these videos, or watching all the videos about all this, going around the internet, don't get complacent. Don't sit on your hands. Get out there. Jump in, help on the campaigns if you can. But absolutely go vote. Every vote is going to matter, because this is going to change the landscape. How much, we'll see. Over the next 4 to 5 weeks, we'll see what the polling data says, for whatever that's worth. And we'll see how the sentiment is changing. Like I said, they've got the Democrats have a lot more going for them now with Harris, and I'm almost positive, another female VP nominee. Just on its face, there's a lot there to fuel this push up until November. What they got going against them is the candidate is Kamala Harris, and the American people don't care for her. She's just not a very likable, very popular politician. She just isn't, and for a whole lot of really good reasons. But we'll get into that later. Now that we know, or as soon as we know for sure. The Democrats are going to have to make a decision quick. They've got about 10 days. Well, basically, as of now, it'll be about 9 days. August 1st is when they've got to pretty much have it cemented down, have their nominee getting ready, because the national convention's just I think 3 weeks after that. So they've got basically 9 days, not counting today, to get this cemented down. And I think with Biden's endorsement, I think it's pretty well cemented, if it wasn't already. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Do you guys think this changes everything? Do you think this is the shot in the arm that the Democrats need to get that lead back over Trump? I think it's a legitimate question. I really do. I also think, Trump didn't do himself any favors with the second half of that speech at the convention. If he would have cut it in half there, if he would have stuck with that first half, it was a good speech. It was a good speech that could have brought everybody in together, but he turned it into a rally. Um, Whoever his speechwriters are, they're very good. he he needs to start letting them create his speeches for him. Now at the rallies, let him go crazy. But forums like that, stick with the speechwriters. They know what they're doing. They're actually very good if he would just stay on script. Um, but I don't think he did himself any favors as far as pulling in independents. Maybe changing the minds of a couple of Democrats. But I think the biggest thing with this news and what's happened today is the any Democrat was going to have to be virtually forced into voting for Trump. None of them wanted to vote for Trump. They were going to have to firmly believe that Biden was the nominee, and a vote for Biden was a vote for a demented older man that couldn't perform the duties. And I don't say that disrespectfully. Um, he's an older man. Age catches up with all of us. It's undefeated. I mean no disrespect, but I think that would have been the only thing that would have swayed some Democrats to voting for Trump, is because they just truly didn't believe Biden could do the job. Um, they're not going to have those fears with Harris, so I think he's lost the Democrat vote either way, whatever else he does between now and November. But I think he could have swayed some independents, and maybe he still could. The stuff they're talking about, that being energy independent, and all the initiatives that get closing down the border. These initiatives, they ring true for a lot of people, not just Republicans. So I definitely don't think Trump is out of this, but he's got a fight on his hands. You guys, let me know what you think. Throw some comments up there. Let's get a dialogue started. Do you think it's going to be Harris? Do you think it's going to be somebody else? Whoever it is, do you think they got a legitimate shot? What do you think this does to this election? Um, Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, follow, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you for the next one. God bless.